Good morning, good morning. 8 a.m. on a Friday, as promised. Check me out. Doing what I said I was going to do. Being a trustworthy source. And yeah, Friday, May 30th, 2025. Who'da thunk? Who'da thunk? ID Princess, you're up early, my dear. Because this is quasi early for me, so it must be wicked early for you. But I hope you're doing well. Nice to see a friendly name. Robin and Mary and Ricardo. Good morning, good morning. I'm always thinking of the weather. The weather, I don't really want it to affect me, but it does. We've got a little bit of rain here. Hopefully it's supposed to clear up. Sun is shining in the sky. That's what I look. Yeah, wicked early. Wicked early. I'll teach you all how to speak. Listen to me. I've been hanging around with Carla. I'll teach y'all how to speak from New England. It'll be wicked funny. So hey, there we go, Cat Mama, and Wario and Dignay and party tomorrow at this time. Hey, friend, yes, 100%. 100% there's a party going on. And did you see, good morning, Becky, and good morning, German Maid. Did you see how many declutter parties I have scheduled for June? 11. So funny. Part of me wants to make an extra one just to have it be an even dozen, but I also like saying a la Spinal Tap, this one goes to 11. So yeah, I just figured it is a good month to get some stuff done, and then July is going to be a mystery. I've got some stuff going on, and then August, I'm going to be, as I said, I'm going to be European. I'm going to be basically taking weeks off in August, so that's why I'm front loading the summer, so you can get the decluttering done, and then have some fun during the summer. Now, for those of you who don't know, I know there's only a handful of us here, but hopefully you're all on the mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com, signing up for the mailing list. Mailing list people get first dibs on everything. Now that's funny. I don't know if you say first dibs on something from where you're from, but my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I grew up in New England and Massachusetts, and I live outside of Philly, so those are the languages I use. People on the mailing list get the good stuff. People who don't, people who do not say, I'm interested in what you're doing, they don't get it. The people who show up at the parties, I will share with you, the people who have shown up at the decluttering parties have been there, and I've been able to ask them, hey, does this time work for you? Hey, if I was to schedule more parties, what day would it work? And the people who show up get to voice their opinion, and then I tailor what I do whenever possible to the people who say, yes, Mondays, early mornings on Mondays would help. So I just offer you, participate, show up, you get more stuff that way, take action. Oceanana, good morning. You're up early as well. I love that you had a good day yesterday. Reflecting back on the day you had, hopefully if it was a good one, and if it wasn't, I'm sure there was something good about it. And looking forward, right now, you're kind of like, ooh, I could drive down a number of roads. What kind of day do you want to have? Write that down. One thing I just remembered, so I'm going to write it down. Where did I put my pen? Oi, where did I put my pen? I'll use a pencil instead. There it is to create. Here we go. Oh, you know what's so funny? I already wrote it down. But writing it down, better twice than once, okay? Erin, good morning. I raise my mug to you. All right. It is the end of May. Tomorrow is the 31st, and Sunday is June 1st. That means we are 5 months into the year known as 2025. Now, think back. Roll back the signs. How were you? Oh, there we go. I love this. I'm interrupting myself because Erin, I was just going to talk about, are you where you want to be? Are you closer to where you wanted to be back at New Year's than you were back then? I hope so. But here, let's give a real life declutter example of this is how we do it. So Erin has been showing up to the declutter parties, and just during these TikTok lives and YouTube lives. I have a YouTube live at 9 o'clock today, so you can change the channel and still join in. During these times, Erin has been using that time to declutter, and I believe it was yesterday, she decluttered two kind of, not abandoned, ignored and forgotten cupboards. This is the thing about having almost too much storage, so you can forget you have stuff. She decluttered it and realized she had a lot of coffees and teas that she forgot she even had. And now, the neat thing is she is drinking the hazelnut coffee that she found yesterday. So use this as an example. There we go. Jennifer has a day off. You're tuning in. I love it. Use Erin's example for you. Even if you don't think you have a lot of stored stuff in your house or storage, you probably have items in your house that you have forgotten you even own. Even decluttering your pantry like she did, you're going to remember, oh, that's right, we have this can of chickpeas. It's funny, I've been talking about the can of chickpeas quite often. I did a while back, and then I was like, you know what, we're not going to eat these, and I donated them to the food pantry. But I'm sure in that kind of canned place in our cupboard, we have something that we haven't. Oh, there's a pouch of, chopped up salmon or something I could make a salmon patty with. Just refresh your memory about the abundance that you have. Clutter is too much. Clutter is not just not enough, kind of like, what do I want to call it? The Three Bears. The Three Bears. It's not too little. It's not just right. It's too much. You know the feeling of too much, right? Overwhelm, drowning, can't breathe, freezing. Like all of that stems from too much of, well, at least in our world, too much clutter, too much stuff in our homes. The number of items in our homes, the number is too big. That number feels like too much. So what do? I suggest to you, I say, hey, open up a door, open up a drawer. Remind yourself of what you have, because what you have is stuff that previous you has accumulated. Many ways. Doesn't matter how it got there at this point. What matters is it's there. And today on May 30th, 2025, remind yourself of what you have. Not all at once. Don't go up and open all the drawers. No, one drawer. What do you have in that drawer? All right. Maybe you take the stuff out of the drawer, just one drawer. Do not do all of it and get yourself overwhelmed. And just see what you have. Take inventory. Taking inventory is gathering information. This is what I have. These are how many forks I have. These are how many chopsticks I have. These are how many wine openers I have. I'm picturing our top drawer in the kitchen. Then ask yourself the simple question, and hopefully clean out the drawer too. Just make it, physically clean. Am I cool with the amount of stuff that's in this drawer? Is the number of items feeling good to me? Is it easy for me to find what I'm looking for in this drawer, or is it all crammed up? Now, decluttering always comes before, just got a brain fart, before organizing. Organizing is one thing, cleaning is one thing, but decluttering is decision making. Seeing what you have and saying, how do I feel about the quantity and quality of what's in this drawer? So you can start that today. One drawer at a time. You do the top drawer, you open up the second drawer, you do it the same way. This is one of the things that I think is so fun and interesting and cool, and maybe it's my ADHD brain, my pattern matching, my whatever. When you notice a pattern behind what you do, you can use that pattern. I mean, it's like making a bunch of different dresses. A dress pattern that fits you gets you the result you want, gets you the dress you want. You may use that pattern over and over again in different fabrics. Maybe you'll add some sleeves. Maybe it'll be in a light gauze or a heavy silk brocade. but seeing the pattern behind it. And I want you to benefit from how my brain works, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to create a process yourself, because a process that works already exists. And it's what I'm offering to you here, kind of just because I love you. Because I don't want somebody to struggle if they don't need to struggle. And I'm here to help you. Actually, this is really kind of fun. I will share a quick story, because I was like, wait a minute, this is reminding me of a song, but I can't sing it because I don't know it that well. We were in Ireland literally this time last week. And we were there because my husband is a musician, and one of the many bands that he is in was invited over to play a festival. The leader of that band is the one who wrote the songs and things. And one of his songs is called Yours in the Struggle. And I didn't know about it. And I heard him talking about it on the stage at this festival that they were invited to. And it's based on Mother Jones. Now, you can Google her, but she was an awesome kind of figure in creating unions, bringing people together and helping people who were struggling. And she used to sign her, I don't think she was like handing out 8x10 glossies, but she was signed her things, yours in the struggle. So I am yours. I am with you in the struggle. I can help you with this. Okay, so think of this. I'm yours in the struggle. That's how the song goes. And if you want to listen to it, his name is Eric V. Huey, Huey. I'm sure you can find it on Spotify. But yes, I am here with you, so you don't have to struggle, because I am not struggling, and I want to show you how to not struggle with clutter. Okay? So here we go. Cat Mama cleaned the dresser and had my jewelry in. Threw some out, some put aside for the nieces and her adult daughters. Awesome. How are you feeling about that? Decluttering and the after effects should give you a sense of feeling better than you did before. Maybe not immediately, because it's a little bit like you stretched your deciding muscle, but in hindsight, feeling good about seeing what you had and what you wanted today and what you didn't want today, what you didn't want for today or in the future, and doing something about what you want and doing something about what you don't want. Now, I love this. Ocean Nana took inventory and says, while decluttering in the garage last weekend, found a set of silverware I forgot I had. Bonus. Notice the things you forget you even own. And Wanderlust Girl is asking, does anyone keep certain old toys kids are too grown for so they can pass to grandkids? Oh, Wanderlust Girl, no, I don't have any children, nor obviously do I have any grandchildren. I will share with you, and I'm sure other people can too. Hell's a poppin', yes, people do that. Because you see value in it, you see memories in it. My child played with it, I'm going to maybe save it for the grands. It's something people do. So you're not alone in that. And I like that you recognize Mother Jones. And I love it. Cat Mama, getting back to having gone through her jewelry drawer, says it definitely feels good. I couldn't find things before. Now that to me is under the umbrella of functionality. I couldn't find things before. The inference is now I can more easily find things. It was a big mess before. Now it is not a big mess. The opposite of a big mess is a small, neat, orderly collection. Now SS says, so hard to get rid of things. All right. What makes it so hard for you to get rid of things? When you say it's so hard to get rid of things, that's just some words. That's a statement, but that is a statement reflecting something you believe to be true. Words in your head that you think this is true. Okay, so I'm not going to say it's not hard. What for you specifically makes it hard to get rid of things? If you share that, you don't have to, but I can maybe help you with that. Grandma says, I saved some treasured toys, but not everything. Yes, quality and quantity. Quality and quantity. Not all of the quantity, some of it, and the some that I saved were the ones that had the best quality. Now, quality can be measured on a variety of levels. Hopefully it meant, something that kids enjoyed. Maybe it was well made, that type of thing. And the grands now love the retro toys when they're there. Very fun. Yeah. Now here's a funny thing. Talk about we all have words in our head. You all have words in our head that we believe, that run our lives. The words in our heads run our lives. And our words in our heads cause us to feel feelings, and the two of those things is what makes you do what you do and not do what you don't do. Okay? So up here, SS07058 says it's so hard to get rid of things. Wanderlust Girl says once you start getting rid of things, you want to get rid of it all. Isn't it interesting? Somebody's having a really hard time. Somebody else, once they get started, it's easy. They want to do all of it. Uh-huh. Yeah. Now, hoarding has some baggage attached to it. That's a word that kind of sounds judgy. So what I want to offer to you, Wanderlust Girl, she says, happy to hear that, Grandma. I have a tote of old toys, but I'm not sure if I'm just hoarding. Notice the fear of appearing to be a hoarder. So maybe what you do, let's take, grandmas. Grandmas can rock, right? Take some knowledge from Grandma. I saved some treasured toys, but not everything. So Wanderlust Girl, maybe you open up the tote of old toys and you take inspiration from this grandma and just look for some treasured toys. If everything in there is treasured and that one tote fits in your house, then you don't have to worry about hoarding. Hoarding is not discriminating. It's keeping a bunch of things that are, sentimental, and also like a dirty, paper plate that had a piece of pizza on it. Hoarding is a different level. But also sometimes we think the quantity of items that we have. Now notice how I'm using words that are fairly neutral, because I want to take the drama out of a lot of this. Drama gets you making things more difficult. So think about the number of toys, but also how they make you feel. Are they the some treasured toys? Or are they just ones that you happen to throw in there? Yeah. So I love this. And I love the words people use, because they really reflect, and they really give us something to play with. It's kind of like, now I am not a musician, though I am going to probably burst into song in the next 40 minutes or so, and I'm not going to sing well, but I'm going to sing anyway. But giving me a note to riff on as if it's a jazz thing. Okay, so what I want to suggest to you is. Hoarding, just using the term loosely. Notice you use a loose kind of generic term. Getting more tight and specific about something helps you get clarity on things. You can focus in on smaller things when you're being more specific. Yes. And Anne, I love this, because this is so true, so I will amplify what Anne says. She says, also, Wanderlust Girl, you are allowed to change your mind later. And never mind just Wanderlust Girl. Everybody here, you are allowed to change your mind anytime you want about something you believed in the past, about something that you saved in the past. In the past, you thought this was true. Now, in light of new evidence and more context, maybe you change your mind. In the past, you saved the toys that are in that tub. Past you, a previous iteration of you, saved those toys. Today you is curious and a little bit afraid. Maybe I didn't save the right things, too many, not enough, whatever. Find out. Check in with today you so that you can update the timestamp. Well, the last time I checked on those toys was May 30th of 2025. Let me just make sure that each one of those toys is still something I want to save. And really, that process right there is for everybody. It's not a tote of toys. It's anything that you have in your house. Checking in with your inventory, what you have in one container, and simply saying to yourself, do I still want this? And then listening for the answer. And then acting upon that answer. If I want it, Okay, cool. It's like a workflow. If I want it, then where do I put it? Where I can easily find it, easily use it, easily put it away. That makes sense to me. If I don't want it, what's the easiest way for me to get it out of my life? And I love using the word easy because this is to make your life easier. So yes, you are allowed to change your mind at any point today, if you want, about something that in the past you had decided to save. You are allowed. Now, Anne is using a perfect one, personal experience. Anne says, I'm going through that with scrapbooking. I had about 4 boxes of scraps, but wound up throwing 2 away. Previous version of Anne, yesterday Anne in the past, thought she wanted these 4 boxes of scraps. Today, Anne is checking in and saying, no, today Anne is saying, I don't need that many. I'll throw away 2 of them. Now, I am curious because I skipped over this because I want to get a little bit in there. So SS07058, who said that decluttering is so hard, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm going to see if I can back up here. Sometimes they disappear. So hard to get rid of things. Okay, and I asked for a little bit more. It doesn't look cleaner, more functional, or more organized. Okay, so looking clean. Cleaning is different than decluttering. I know this because I have dust all over my house right now because the basement, oh my God, please God, in 10 minutes, the basement guys are supposed to come back. I have dust all over my house. Cleaning and decluttering are different. Organizing and decluttering are different. They all work together to kind of they're almost like that power trio, that are going to make your house really feel like you want it to. But each one of them has its own kind of superpower. Okay? Decluttering is decision making. Decluttering is decision making. I am here to help you get better at decision making decisions, creating a decision, saying, I want this to happen. This is what I want. That is going to help you feel better in your life, in your home. Decluttering is decision making, deciding what you want and what you don't, and feeling okay with doing something that means something to you. Now, I love this. German Maid said, yesterday, I spent some time pre-slicing and chopping onions and freezing. I am tired of food going bad. So let's notice this. We are creatures of habit, but you can change your habits at any time. German Maid had the habit of not chopping up and freezing her onions, and they went bad. She did not like when that happened. She did something else. She changed her mind. I'm going to stop doing the onions the way I did. I'm going to start doing the onions this way because I was tired of food going bad. What are you tired of in your house? Let's bring it. I'm always going to rope it back to the root note of decluttering. But also, just because we talk about decluttering does not mean you can't expand this into what are you tired of? You can do something about it. Okay. Now, Heidi D, good morning. I see a little coffee cup, so I'm raising my cup to you. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. Here, no, she's got a bunch of painting stuff that's hard to get rid of. Once again, I will ask the musical question. Why is it hard for you to get rid of a bunch of painting stuff? Now, let me be very clear and kind of coachy and show you a process that's happening right now. You are sharing with me words in your head that are causing you to feel like you cannot move your hands and even start to look at go through the painting stuff. You are sharing that thought with me. What I am doing, and it's is just asking you why. Now, when I ask you this question, it could help me to know the answer. What I am doing is I am giving you a question to ask yourself. Ask yourself, why is it so hard for me? Interview yourself. Why is it so hard for me to get rid of this painting stuff, right? You're like man on the street reporter, woman on the street. Shelby Scott doing the weather. Why is it so hard for you to do that? and then give the microphone over to your head and let yourself answer it. And here is a key part of this process that's going to make it so much easier. Write down your answer. Write down your answer. You can say it, but words evaporate. But you have a reason. You have words in your head that are causing you to feel like it's going to be hard to get rid of the painting stuff. Write down those words, because those words are powerful enough to have you not going through your painting stuff. Write down the answers, your specific answers to the questions I offer to you. Then the neat thing is you can read them to me if you want to share them, or you can be like, whoa, okay, I don't want to share this with anybody. This is deep. You get to choose, but you have evidence as to what's going on in the machine that runs your life, called your brain and your head and your heart. All right? So what I will also offer too, this is one of it's almost like my brain goes back to a math class that I had in high school. And we kind of it was a theorems and stuff. I don't quite remember what it was, but you kind of proofed. You did a proof. If this, then that, kind of, and one of the theories I have that I start with, okay, yes, and Erin says the deep stuff gets handled in one-on-one coaching, and Erin knows because we have one-on-one coached together. Starting next week, I will have more consultation slots on my calendar for June. If anybody wants to start coaching with me, I have a 10-session package. It's going to look kind of wonky as we get into the summer, into August, but starting now, get ready for, I hate to say it, but like September, right? But I digress. So yes, I do one-on-one coaching, and thank you, Erin, for bringing that up. So one of the things that I look for when I am asking for, why am I not doing this? It doesn't happen all the time, but I will say 90% of the time is fear. Fear. What am I afraid of? If I was doing, and can I find it now? I was showing them yesterday. If I was doing Mad Libs, anybody remember these? I decluttered my own stuff. And these are mine from 1979. I am afraid that, ... sentence. I am afraid that I will feel, insert feeling here. I am afraid that if I do that, something bad is going to happen. What's that something bad? Now, Wandering Willow 2024 says, when I was little, okay, notice, in the past, I always had anything my friends needed, and I got value from that. Notice, when you're the person who has what people need, you feel good about yourself about that. Now, here's an interesting, subtle but important shift, because this is part of decluttering, also helps you in functionality, in the organization of stuff. Now, I may have everything, but I can't find it when I need it. Right? So it does you no good to have 14 spatulas. Well, spatulas would be in the kitchen. Let's say I've got it around here somewhere. Literally in Latin, I'm sure that's my family's credo. It's around here somewhere. Something that you need that you cannot put your hand on easily does you no good. It might as well be invisible. So notice that the Wandering Willow got a certain positive feeling from being the person who solved other people's problems. If you got a problem, I'll solve it. Oh, you need a potato masher? I've got that. Oh, you need a rice cooker? I've got that. Oh, do you need a hammer? I've got that. But if you've got it and you can't find it easily to help them with it, they might as well go out and buy their own. Yeah. So notice the positive associations you have with being the person who has stuff. You get what Jen Sincero, one of the coaches that I've worked with, calls false benefits. Now, I don't say false because isn't it a nice feeling to help somebody who is struggling when they don't have something and say, oh, wait a minute, I've got one of those. So That can be a good thing. I'm not going to say it's not. But are you saving stuff in case somebody else wants it, and in the meantime living in chaos where you can't find anything? Yeah. And you can be seen as the go-to person. I can be relied upon to being the person who's always bringing all the stuff, and other people forget, but I don't forget. But that also causes a mental load, right? The cognitive load of remembering everything just in case somebody else forgets it. Yeah, and notice this can be generational. Wandering Willow says, yeah, my mom was the same way. So I had that reiterated value seen through her as well. Notice where you came from. None of us live in a vacuum. That'd be kind of gross, living in a vacuum. We are products of the people who raised us. We are products of our environment. We see what people got rewarded for and felt good about. We saw what people got scolded about. And it's so funny. I had two things flash in my head right now. I was like, oh, that's interesting about my own life back when I was a little kid. And we notice that. We pick these things up. If you do that, you're going to get rewarded. If you do that, you're going to get punished. And we don't want to get hurt. We don't want people to not love us. So we will do the things that allow us to feel love, even if it can be kind of wonky. Now, I kind of lay that out on the table to say, okay, if those are kind of some of the premises that we go by, is what you're doing giving you the result you want? I don't know how more clear I can be like that. Is what you're doing with your stuff in your home giving you the result you want, the destination you want? Okay, and notice this. This is where we're peeling back the layers. German maid was talking about onions. We're peeling back an onion, but we're not crying. We might cry, but it's okay. It'll be temporary. So Wandering Willow says, exactly. When I forgot something, I would get scolded. So notice, the fear of getting scolded causes you to have everything just in case so you don't get in trouble. Now, also notice that this is a thought process that is probably so under the radar that you don't even realize you're doing it now. But think about how old you were when you learned that, and notice, let's say 4 years old. I'll just pick that up. 4 years old, I learned this. I learned that if I forgot something, I got scolded. So I have started to ensure that I never do. And I don't know how old you are, maybe 44, 34, 54, 64, 74. Even all these years, you're still doing stuff based on something that happened when you were 4 years old. Now, again, I just say this. Isn't this interesting to think about? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I say get curious about it. Get curious about it. Be like, isn't that funny? I am still acting like a 4-year-old because of, I want to be safe. I don't want to get in trouble. I'm going to follow the rules so I don't get in trouble. I mean, I'll be honest with you, a lot of how I used to not do things was for fear of being judged or getting in trouble, getting spanked, for crying out loud. Now, so just notice that clutter is not as simple as getting rid of the stuff on the surface, because you can do that, but you're going to clutter again. You're going to clutter again. If you don't know why you're doing things, you're just going to repeat it because it is ingrained in you to live the way you've been living. Now, some habits you have work for you. Yay, keep them. Do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. But this is, again, opening the junk drawer of habits and saying, these are the habits that I use that get me what I want. My habit tracker, free one when you get on the mailing list. I use it myself, obviously. Every single habit on here makes me feel better physically. So I do them. So those stay. Those are in the keep pile of habits. But then examining the habits that when I do this, the result is kind of, I habitually ordered another cocktail. It was a habit. My drink wanted a drink. And I felt shitty that night, and I felt shitty the next day. Notice that. I say to myself as we go out and see a friend in a band tonight, perhaps I will stay with one cocktail. Different choices, different outcomes. And all this is going on underneath. And that's fine. Do not be afraid to look within you and just see what instruction manual, how old the instruction manual is that's running this machine called your life. Now, I love this. Oceanana says, because of listening to you, I have been able to decide to let go of an old-fashioned sewing machine. It was a tough choice. However, it's not in a place of honor, so why hold on to it anymore? Yeah. So I love that. I love that you're feeling better about a decision that you are making. Now, sometimes, as you said, it was a tough choice. Sometimes things can feel tough. Because again, there are thoughts and feelings behind that. What does it mean for me to no longer have this? So the neat thing is, Oceanana, I don't know what your plan is, but I hope you find a good place to rehome that. I hope you find a place that makes you feel better about not having it in your home. Because here's the thing too. If you have stuff in your house and you can't use it, if it's not in a place of honor, if you can't easily access it, that's kind of disrespecting the thing. So get it to a place where somebody else can use it. I've seen people do really neat things with old sewing machines. Technology, outmoded technology, people transform it into all sorts of stuff. Now I love this. This is wicked funny, or wicker funny. Cat Mama says, I was into wicker. Notice the past tense. I was into wicker when I lived near the store. Table, tall lamp, small shelves, all that, big hamper. Going. Yeah, and I'm going to make plans to get it out of your house. You used to be, as we would say at Pier 1, because I worked there for a wicked long time, walking in a wicker wonderland. Walking in a wicker wonderland. Now you're done with your wicker era, okay? And you're making a plan to get it out of the house. I love it. Now, Wandering Willow says, that was my whole life and it still lingers. Yes, you can notice this. And all I offer to you as a helpful thing is to notice what instructions you are following that you may not even realize. And if they are not giving you the results you want, update them. Like you update an app on your phone. Your phone apps, you have to continually update those because they're always improving them to make them better and easier for you. To make them giving you more what you want and fixing the problems that causes your screen to crash. So here we go. Anne says, oh no, my life instruction manual is outdated. But you can update it. You can update it. That's what I'm here to help you with. Noticing what works for you, continue to do it. Noticing what's not working for you, get curious and let's pull it apart and change it. So at the end, you're like rejiggering like some instructions and you get a different result. And notice how we're just talking about things in neutral terms, but this approach applies to so many things. I like to play around with clutter because I know what it's like to feel surrounded by stuff that aggravates you. And I know what it feels like to feel like you can't do something about it. So I am here to say with a clear voice and a full heart, you can do something about it. You can. Now, if you don't know what to do, that's fine. That's a process. I can teach you that. But you can do it. But you will not ask for help or get coached or, do anything about it until you feel like I can make a change. Now, change isn't necessarily inherently bad. Change isn't necessarily good. So what we do, and this is why I call my coaching Destination Decluttered, is always say, okay, what are you aiming for? Any client I've worked with, and I'll offer it right now. What's your destination decluttered? And this is how you would do it, almost like Mad Libs. I just put my Mad Libs back. I want my home to look, adjective, adjective, adjective. I want my home to function, and I give you the answer to that one, easily. Easily able to find things, easily able to use them, easily able to put it away. And I want to feel adjective, adjective, adjective in my heart. I think those are going to be adjectives, right? So you fill out that little formula. Now you know what you're aiming for. So when you start here, it's like a road trip. You say, if I'm starting here and I want to get there, is what I'm going to do going to get me closer to that? And the neat thing is each one of us has probably some similarities, like the Venn diagram. We have some similarities of how we want our homes to feel and function, but each one of us has our own individual destination. How you want it to look is completely up to you. But there are probably some similarities as clean surfaces. I want to easily be able to find the scissors, use the scissors, put the scissors away. I want to easily be able to find things. If people say, hey, do you have one? I can say, yes, I do, and I know exactly where it is, so I can easily help you. And how do I want to feel in my home? Good. I want to feel good. I want to open the door and say, ah. Not open the door and go, ugh, which is happening a lot right now because we're having work done on the house, but it's temporary. So notice what you're doing, and is it getting you to where you want? Now, if you don't have a destination planned, that's why when I do one-on-one coaching, the very first session is dedicated entirely to you getting in tune with. Notice my hand is old-timey. It's like I'm tuning into a radio station. The frequency of thought in your brain and your head and your heart that says, this is what I want. And here's a fun thing. I also play with opposites. So sometimes you may not know what you want, but boy, howdy, do you know what you don't want? Well, that's valuable information too. Because what you don't want, you know what's on the other side of that usually is what you do want. Isn't this kind of fun? It's a formula, and not formulaic, but there is a recipe. There is a recipe. And in this recipe, you add the flavors you want, and you do not put in the flavors you don't want. And then when you are, it's like picking a vacation destination. Now, I'm a traveler. I have written books about road trips, and so I love that analogy. When you go on vacation to a destination, you're picking one that appeals to you. I'm doing it, and it appeals to me. I don't want to go to places that is not appealing to me. I'm not going to go someplace cold. I don't like to ski. I would be sitting there in the ski lodge with a cocktail next to the thing reading a book. Now that would be my happy place, but I wouldn't necessarily put me in a situation that I wouldn't enjoy it. So defining your home, how about this? Pretend. We like to pretend here a lot too. Your imagination. Imagine your vacation Airbnb. You're in your mind. What would the best Airbnb, what would I be so psyched to open up the door to an Airbnb? I'm going to be there on vacation, opening it up, and it's exactly how I want it. How does that feel? Opening the door and loving what you see, being delighted by how things are. Describe your favorite vacation Airbnb, write it down, and see where you can apply that to your home. How is it different from your home? How can you get your home looking and feeling and functioning more like that? And a lot of times when you're in a hotel room, Erin, me, or an Airbnb, or somebody else's house that you like, oftentimes you don't see a lot of clutter. You can easily able to find things. You can put something down on a table because there's a clean surface for you to put your mug down, and probably with a coaster as well. I think this is fun. I don't know about you guys. I hope I'm not boring you. But to me, it's just fascinating. Yeah. And it's quality and quantity. Danielle says, I love plants, but not 35 houseplants. So notice the quantity of plants. She loves plants. 35 is too much. She got carried away because we've been told in our lives that if a little bit feels good, then a lot must feel better. And sometimes that's not the case, right? But we don't know that because we don't realize we've been fed that. And sometimes, oops, I did it again. I had 2 cocktails. Hopefully we learn. And what we do too is we check in with ourselves. So Danielle, kind of you didn't realize when you had no plants. Okay, so my hands are kind of down below. I didn't have any plants. Okay. And then I got 1, and it felt good, and another felt good, and another felt good, and another felt good. Oh, this is kind of fun. I got carried away. This is fun, and I love this one. I love this one, and this all of a sudden 35 plants. You're like, oh, ooh, this amount of plants doesn't feel good, because you didn't check in with yourself to say, can I stop right here? Am I right around here? And to me, around the heart is always where I say this is the right feeling. You can use this in reverse, though. You can look at your plants and say, I'm not sure the right amount for me, so I will just start to extract some. The ones that didn't work out for me, one by one. 35, 34, plant 33, plant 32, plant 31. And as you do this, you may say, nope, that's good. I'm good with this level. Okay, then you're feeling good with the amount you have. But then a few days may pass, a week may pass, a month may pass, and you're like, this isn't working out. So then maybe this plant goes and that plant goes. Always checking in with yourself about your inventory, the quantity and quality of items you have, and not doing a one and done, but checking in with yourself, because today is different, that you are different today. I love you more today than yesterday, but not as much as tomorrow. You know, you've got the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. You've got past you, present you, and tomorrow you. So checking in with today you, because it's the only one we ever are. We're ever in is the now, man. Right? And Anne says, I'm really hanging on to today's message of checking in with current, present day me. It's the only one we ever have. Yesterday's version of us was yesterday's today me. I know this is like, wait, what? Time travel? But saying, what do I want today? And extrapolating a best guess of what might I want in the future, but also not basing your future needs on what you've said before, but aiming for that destination to say, if I save this for tomorrow, is this going to get me the life I want, the decluttered life? Okay? Now, I love this because Anne brings up a good point. So she says, I'm really hanging on to today's message of checking in with current, present day me. So if this message is resonating with you and you might need a reminder, I will remind you that all of my TikTok lives are recorded and downloaded from TikTok and then uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And currently right now, so remember this one, write down TikTok Live, Destination Decluttered, TikTok Live, 5/30/2025 was a reminder. I liked that episode. I want to watch that episode again. I want to listen to it like a podcast. By the end of today, this one's going to be up there. I've gotten into a good habit of getting them up there pretty quickly. And on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, in about 12 minutes, we're going to change the channel and go over there and hang out and just talk about these things. Okay? So, if this resonates with you, I love that. Write a note to yourself. Listen to that again. Learn something from this. Ooh, how can I use this information that is being given freely and with love? How can I use this to change my life into more of what I want it to do? Now, this is interesting. I love the cat mama got the spiral staircase. There we go. And Anne says, sometimes when I declutter, a lot of things I notice an enjoyment hierarchy. Now, see, this is where I'm fascinating. That's where I'm fascinated. I would love for you to elaborate, and you can do it in the comments here or whatever. I am curious about your enjoyment hierarchy. I tend to think of enjoyment kind of as maybe a bell curve. Like you start doing something, or a mountain maybe, like, ooh, this is good, I really like this, and then sometimes we keep on doing it even though it doesn't bring us the enjoyment we once had, kind of like eating too many Planters cheese balls. First ones taste so good, and then you're just trying to recapture that first delightful feeling. So sometimes you get too much, and then if you don't notice it, you could gain some weight, you could have too much stuff in your house. So I see it more as this is how I described it to me. It was like, oh, it was fun until it wasn't. And kind of notice, it was fun and now it's not. There we go. Alrighty. And yeah, Danielle, notice your brain is coming up with ideas. Maybe you can put some of your plants, maybe your house plants are too crowding in your house, but maybe now it's patio season. You can put some out on the patio. The other thing too is noticing that in the past you were in the habit of buying some of these plants. Maybe what you do too is you practice now not buying plants, seeing how that feels. Okay? Seeing how that feels to go and just enjoy the plants and not buy any. I used to go to, this is really funny for me because I love the idea of plants, but I am just not a plant person. I would go to plant, I loved in the spring though, the look of them, the chlorophyll, going to garden centers and seeing, frankly, I liked the planters better than the plants. And what I want to offer is you can go and just absorb in the now. Go to like Longwood Gardens, go somewhere and really enjoy those plants. But just because you enjoy it doesn't mean you have to own it. Yeah. So notice Danielle is also finding parallels. I did the same with my pets in my early 20s and my weight. Yeah, we have habits. And sometimes our habits are applied in different ways. You know? Alrighty. There we go. I love this. Anne says, if I'm able to release this one thing I kind of enjoy, some others similar can go, and I'm still okay. And I'm still okay. Notice that. I'm not feeling freaked out and stressed out, and my nervous system is not all activated. No. I checked in with myself, and when I release that thing, I feel okay. That's what we aim for, because that makes it easy. Now, Danielle says I have to go to every garden center. I go to garden centers sometimes, and it's mainly to get me out of the house, to take a little road trip, to see something different, to smell something different, to just see what's out there. It doesn't mean I need to buy anything, though. I can enjoy the drive. I can enjoy it as if it's not a store at all, but maybe it's just a museum. Pretend things aren't for sale, and you just go to enjoy them, like a museum. I love it. Yeah. There we go. Amy says, I love looking around the Hobby Lobby. I don't have to buy. Yeah. So, I love it. Judy says, we are on our way back from Myrtle Beach and have a plant hanging in the back on a hanger handle. Awesome. Have fun. And notice, this is a really important thing, Danielle. Spot on. Yay, you. At least I'm noticing it now. Noticing is a skill. Noticing what you do. If you don't notice it, you're oblivious. What's the opposite of noticing? Clueless. Clueless, oblivious, unaware. Be aware. Be aware. And be aware that when you're aware, you have a choice. You have a choice. When you're unaware, you think that this is the only way, yada, yada. No, when you're aware, oh, isn't this interesting? I'm doing that thing again. Doing that thing I do. I started it during COVID. I went through like a pink phase. The color pink cheered me up. So I had pink on my glasses. And then I had pink on one thing, and I had pink on another thing. And it was like, oh, this is good, this is good. And then suddenly one day, I noticed how many things I had kind of gotten myself into a little trend of pink. And Amy is saying, it took a long time to learn to be aware. Yes, it may. But guess what? If you're here and we're talking about it, you're aware of the skill of being aware. And isn't it so good? I mean, Amy, me too. Me too. I am going to be 59 in August. I have only been on this journey of kind of self-help, coaching, all this, starting as getting coaching myself, becoming a coach, doing what I do, only in the last 10 years. Yeah. So it took me, I was doing other things for 50 years of my life. Now, I would have interspersed things of awareness and doing something different, but it wasn't consistent. And I will tell you, when I have increased my awareness that I have a choice in a matter, that little gap in that choice, when I choose the thing that's going to get me the life I want, my quality of life has skyrocketed and remained consistent. It's not peaking and valleying like it used to be, or being a desert plateau. So, I love this. Oh, okay, teacher, you're going to be 59 in August too. Yay, Leos. I love it. Monk is asking, and I'm keeping an eye on the time. It's 8:54, but we're going to also change the channel over at YouTube. So let me set that up right now, just so we all have a place to land. So give me a sec here. Because TikTok has been, YouTube has been wonky. So today is 5:30, 2025, and we're doing a 9 a.m. YouTube. Yo, Adrian. YouTube live. All right. And I say 9 a.m. because I'm East Coast. Your mileage may vary depending upon your time zone. I'm in a time zone. Speak about destruction. Here we go. 9 o'clock. Crossing my fingers. Technology is great. Okay. It's going to be set for 9 o'clock. So love it. And I love it. Bobby is a Leo. Judy says you have definitely increased my awareness. I love it. Melissa is doing dishes and starting to work out my list. Okay. But before we have it. Yeah. I love it. Erin's getting a massage. Thank you. I have to write down. I have to get a massage. I have to get a massage. Listen to me. Call Ruthie. Yay. Thank you for the reminder, my dear. You have a great day too. Thanks for stopping in. Now here's a funny thing. Wanderlust girl, let me help you with this. I stopped buying stuff, but now buying organizing things to help organize. Okay, honey bunch? I've been there. I know. Organizing stuff is still stuff. It still is stuff. If you don't declutter prior to organizing, you're going to have so many containers, excess containers, if you don't declutter first. Okay? Just word to your mother. Because I've been there. And speaking of my mother, her basement, when I was decluttering her house, every time I found a container, a product that was supposed to help her get more organized, and we dumped it out and we were able to organize things in fewer containers, her basement literally was a mound of baskets, of folders, of trays, of shelves, all sorts of containers. But if you don't know how to declutter, then your containers are going to just be filled with clutter. So just offering that. Now, Danielle, thank you. You know what? Good stuff. Oh, Abbott Elementary is always organizing jewelry and just found a Mia diamond heart pendant. Love it. Alrighty. Getting up with Beth and the crew to start my day on YouTube. Wrote it down and the alarm was set. Yes, we've got 3 minutes. I love it. So I just want to hit something heavy before we sign off on this one because I don't want to ignore it. Monk is asking, how do you start helping someone who is an actual hoarder? I have a friend I want to help. I love that you want to help somebody. This is why I got into what I'm doing, because I have tried to help people with clutter pretty much all my life, aka my parents, friends, whoever. The person has to be willing and ready to get help. You can show up in the space, in the vibe of love and support for your friend. You can not be judgy. You can look at your friend through the eyes of love, as they would say, and offer to help. And offer if they want it. Not inferring that they need it, but would you like some help with that? And if they say yes, ask them, how can I help you? And listen to them. Respect where they are in the journey. The other thing I will say that I think is really important to note is that true hoarding, when can be a sign of that somebody needs more mental health help than what we're doing here provides. So just notice that sometimes that is indicative of something deeper. Now, this is why I say, and I say this as kind of a showing off, frankly, many of my one-on-one clients have said that working with me has actually been better for them, a lot more helpful than the mental health therapy they've gone to, which I take that as a compliment. However, I also don't want to misrepresent me. I am not a licensed medical or mental health professional, nor do I ever care to be. I have a level that I work on that feels good to me, and as soon as it starts getting more technical, that's not where I'm going. That's not to say that there aren't people out there, because there are people out there in the mental health world that can help people who have a true hoarding situation. But I say, as a friend, you can say, getting your vibe right, not being judgy, just doing it with love. And if they say yes, help in the way that would help them. And if they say no, thank you, don't take offense, But just say to them, just so you know, I am always here for you. If you ever change your mind, when you change your mind, maybe you say that. When you change your mind, please know you can ask me and I will not judge and we'll work at it together and you're not alone. How does that sound? Okay? I think that would be cool if that were me with a friend. So Monk, I love that you're being a good friend too. And I also noticed that it's 9 o'clock on this right here. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. So we're going to do YouTube. Just give me a chance to literally shut off this channel, turn on that channel. And if you want to join in on this conversation, I offer to you that the Destination Decluttered, this TikTok live will be uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. If you're not on the mailing list, you don't know that there's a decluttering party tomorrow. You can find out about that. You can know when I'm going to show up next week and the week after and the week after and all that for TikTok lives and YouTube lives. There are a huge amount of free resources available. I feel lucky enough that my paying clients allow me to do this and give stuff away for free. And I love it. Anne says, Beth has helped me in other big ways, just reminding me how people can be helpful can help without being snarky. Yeah, no, I can be snarky like nobody's business, but in the long run, being sincere and helpful and showing up in service and in love will do a lot better. And now even TikTok's telling me to sign off. So I will see you guys at the party tomorrow, maybe over at YouTube. Okay. And where's my little off button here? Oops. That's weird. Huh. It's like, where'd it go? There we go. Okay. I'll see you over on YouTube. Bye.